Bad caregiver, bad medical industry. Uh, to give y'all some history of why I know what these doctors doing without training. When they researched me, the White House researched me in '95. They say I'm gonna bust every industry wide open. Even the federal government, they say we're gonna get in trouble, but we'll pay the lawsuits out of court. I said, what you mean by I'm gonna bust all the industry wide open? They say, David, the researcher and experts say it's not a lawyer ever born on the planet can go in the courtroom with you with you only having an hour to brief the case. They'll all run out of that courtroom and retire because you will make them look like a fool. They say ain't a doctor can have 20 years experience. And what he learned in 20 years in books, you can learn in 1 year just watching them with nobody talking, just watching them. So the experts say you're going to bust every industry open if you go to writing. And I didn't know what they were talking about at the time. I know that I can see through bullshit, but I didn't know that I was smarter than doctors or lawyers and all this stuff until I got in the situation of going to court and going to doctor. I see through the BS, right? So anyway, remind you, the hospital doctor mad at me because I done exposed that gabapentin is not a painkiller. So they mad as hell. So they shipped me to a nursing home the next day. And when I got in the nursing home, and remind you, a lot of people don't know that, but when you go to the nursing home from a hospital, that hospital is still over you, that same doctor. So that doctor gonna show me that you ain't nothing, right? The first thing the nurse said in the nursing home woke me up and say, Mrs. Stubbs, here comes your painkiller, gabapentin. And goddamn, I exploded. You know what I mean? And I told them the definition between gabapentin and the painkiller, and the doctor come in. You know the nursing home doctor. Who give you prescription? They can bypass the hospital doctor. So and the nursing home doctor say he right. She said gabapentin is not a painkiller. And then they say, how you know that, sir? I said, it's all over the internet, man. I said, that's why y'all have to be careful nowadays. Because Google exposed every industry. So they looked at the definition and looked at what I was looking at on Google, and the doctor left and they gave me Oxycontin. And the nurse say, oh my God, we give all the patients in here gabapentin and we tell them it's painkiller. I said, you know what's going on? They charging the insurance card for painkillers, Oxycontin, Vicodin, Percodan, and all this shit. I say, but they getting a patient gabapentin, which is really, really dirt cheap compared to painkiller. And then they say, well, that's what they got to be doing. So now, my leg cut off. Let me show you how quick the medical industry is. And Google got brains. I don't know how Google know of Facebook. But the day I got my leg cut off, when I go on Facebook, all I see is above knee amputation. Above knee amputation. I'm like, I ain't never seen this before. What the fuck is it? Above knee amputation? Facebook all day. Above knee amputation. They showing the prosthetic for the above knee amputation. I go to Google. All you see ad for above knee amputation. I'm in a nursing home. 3 weeks passed. Nobody wrapped my leg. I'm like, Miss, Miss, why ain't nobody wrapping my leg? When I left the hospital, they say the nurse home gonna wrap my leg every day. Ain't nobody wrapping my leg. She said, if we don't have no orders to wrap in your leg, we'll call your hospital doctor, right? Nursing home manager called the hospital doctor. He told them to go ahead and wrap it. Now 3 weeks to pay, right? I see a bunch of brown stuff around the operating area, right? Staplers with brown shit around it, right? So I'm like, nurse, what all that brown stuff is? And she said, I think they dried blood. Because they're supposed to be wrapping your leg every day, sir. Even twice, 2 to 3 times a day. Until the bleeding stops, right? So now, they still ain't got order to wrap my leg. But a Spanish nurse, Mamacita, that's what I call her. Mamacita thing. Baby, I'm gonna wrap your leg. Don't tell nobody I'm gonna wrap your leg. Because I don't know what they're trying to do, baby. I think they're trying to make you get an infection. I said, well, goddamn, they just cut my leg off. What do you want me to get an infection for? She said, the new thing, baby, is above the knee. They give you affection, then they got to cut above the knee. That way the money at all the prosthetic is 150 to 300,000, baby. But she said, don't tell nobody. I'm gonna wrap your leg. And I'm gonna wrap it every day I come to work. So their little plan won't work. So she wrapped my leg, cleaned it up, right? Cleaned it up real good. But the blood was so old and thick, you couldn't get most of it. You have to pull the skin to get it, right? And I realized the universe was trying to talk to me. I never typed in above the knee amputation to Facebook. I never typed it in Google. I didn't even know what the hell it was. And just all of a sudden, I'm saying ads for above the knee prosthetics. Above the knee prosthetics. That was the universe telling me what this doctor was trying to do, right? So I go to the doctor. I'm at the nursing home now. The meat and grow over the staplers. You know, the nursing home kept calling him to pull out the staplers. I said, can they pull out the staplers? He told them to leave them in. So when more people get the staple pulled out in 7 to 10 days, I'd have had these staples for over 30 days. I get out of the nursing home. I don't go see this man for another month. So now I'd have had these staples for 2 months. The meat to grow open. He put them staplers out. Each one was like the worst pain I ever saw. And I was still wondering why. He the one who gonna benefit the most. He the one who gonna have to take my leg above the knee. He was trying to make it way I get above the knee prosthetic to bring more money in the industry. They don't care who bring the money or where it go to, longer in the medical industry. Thank you, and God bless.